Hello and welcome, my vibrant souls, to today's reading. Welcome back to my old friends, and big hello and welcome to all my new friends. Nice to have you here. So today's reading is going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be, how do you influence people? I realize I say that all the time. Today's going to be really straightforward. Eventually I'm going to do one where I'm like, today's is going to be fucking wild. Hold on to your asses, folks. But that one's not today. So today's, excuse me, is going to be, how do you influence people? Oh no, I laughed too hard. Okay, I'm gonna cough. Hang on, you guys, ready? Okay, ooh, excuse me. Now I'm good. How do you influence people? What flavor of persuasion do you bring to the table? How do you impact people's lives? What you do? Quite simply put. So as usual, we have 3 options to choose from today. We have option 1, 2, and 3. For option 1, we have this adorable pin from my best friend, Lindsay. This one says, "In tarot, we trust." Option 2, we have my lovely little bluebird friend. And option 3, we have this little pink flower. You see? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hang on, let me take a sip of my coffee. Also, I'm sorry if there's a wayward bark in the background. My dogs are home and people are driving by, so they should be chill, but I apologize. So yes, take as long as you need. Pause the video if need be. Meditate on the stacks in front of you. Contemplate. Come to some type of conclusion that sits well with you and your intuition. And when you are ready, my love bugs, head down to the timestamps in the description box below. And with that, we're going to get started with group 1. Okie dokie. Hang on, just adjusting. Okay. Hi, group 1. Sorry if you chose group 1, you just sat through that. I just realized my camera's a little bit off the angle I wanted. Not great at that, not my strong suit. If you're attracted to the In Tarot We Trust pin, first of all, we have a lot of like pink and some blue here. I feel like you're very intuitive, and I feel like you're somebody who follows their heart-centered truth. You're my little sweet babies. Like, you follow the truth of your heart and you inspire other people to do the same more often than not. And I think people see how you live your life in a very emotionally open, heart-centered way, and it inspires them to add more of that into their lives. So good for you guys. I don't know if you can see. It was a thumbs up, but I have to hold it sideways for you to see it. Just know what I'm doing here. Okay, so something I wanted to look at first and foremost. So we have your tarot, and I'm going to save that for later. We have all of these good looking oracle cards to kind of get more information. But the first thing I kind of want to look at here is this. Now this is a card from the Blood and Honey deck where it's just the major arcana. So I like to use these to kind of look at archetypes and archetypal energy. And I pulled this with the intention of looking at what type of person you usually influence the most. So this could talk about, excuse me, their literal sign. So like, let's say if, you're like, oh, I see, hang on, sorry guys, hang on. Oh, I'm so sorry, my asthma is just acting up horribly. This could talk about like a person's sign where you're like, I don't know why, but I always attract this zodiac sign into my life. This also can talk about what you bring to the people that you influence the most, or their type of energy where they're at, like what type of people that you are most likely to impact and influence throughout this life journey for you. So you guys have, oh, the Empress. Okie dokie. So this can be a Taurus or a Libra. You might find that your life is just populated with a lot of Tauri and Libra. These could be your zodiac signs. But I also feel like you tend to influence and impact the most people who struggle with their divine feminine energy in general, but I also feel struggle with self-love very, very heavily. Because the Empress is very abundant and she has excellent self-worth, and that's, those two are part and parcel to one another. I'm feeling a lot of Taurus second house energy, so these could be people who struggle to there you go, who struggle to receive or to manifest material abundance for themselves. And it's completely 100% in this situation based in them lacking self-worth and self-value, them not appropriately putting value on themselves, intrinsic value on themselves. And with like the circle here, can you see that? I'm really good at holding it out of the frame. Yeah, okay. With the circle here, I feel like you help them gain insight, you help them with their epiphanies, you help them with their enlightenment. I also feel like, I don't know why I'm getting with the fan, you help them to kind of stop hiding from something, and I feel like this is from themselves, right? This woman's got pearls, like a lot of them, around her neck, and, you know, pearls of wisdom. I talk about this a lot on the channel, so if you're like, God damn it, Vanessa, stop talking about pearls. Sorry, we're doing it. You know, pearls obviously make me think of pearls of wisdom, but the way that pearls are created is that an irritant gets into a mollusk's shell, and the mollusk secretes a substance called, I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, but nacre. It's N-A-C-R-E. So if I'm mispronouncing it, please correct me in the comments. And it does this over and over and over again to try to protect its soft tissue from the irritant. Usually it's sand, but not exclusively. And by the time, this is that, oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is that pearly iridescent substance, and so it does is it coats it layer after layer after layer after layer until it doesn't irritate the soft tissue anymore. So I feel like this is, you know, when I look at pearls, not only is it the wisdom that we've learned, but it's the wisdom we've learned from our painful experiences and from our ability to overcome that. So I feel like you're able to, the type of person that you tend to have the most influence on are people who really struggle with their self-worth and their self-value. People who hide some aspect of their authentic selves, and people who are blind to their own, the wisdom of their own experiences. It's like, an analogy I use a lot, if you've ever gotten a personal reading with me, is that, you know, especially when we look at our skills, our life skills, our spiritual growth, our emotional growth, the challenging experiences we've been through are essentially kind of like, you know, it's our learning process, it's our skill building time. And so to not appropriately value the lessons that we have been through and the things that we get from those and what we bring to the table as a result is essentially to not appropriately value. It's like we've already paid up front in our struggle, and we're not then getting the benefits from that, right? And I feel like you tend to help people bridge that gap, and again, get in touch with their heart-centered truth. So this tends to be the type of person you make the most impact on, or you influence the most, is people who really are struggling with their self-worth. Excuse my coughing. I'm so sorry, you guys. My asthma is terrible today. So let's see what else you got. Okay, yeah, you have rejection. You guys see that? Yeah, okay. I'm trying to make sure I have enough room. You guys have semi-sextile, allowing. And this one is encourages, sees the potential in, clarifies, gives hope to, compensates, intuits, tempers, responds, cycles, grows, realizes, and rewards. So the words I was most drawn to this time around were encourages, compensates, and rewards. Sorry about my dog barking. So, you know, with a semi-sextile, this is essentially like a sextile in astrology, but less potent. And so this is where, you know, to me, you know, if a semi-sextile is an incredibly positive energy flow, this is where you can have an incredibly positive energy flow, as long as, you know, both of the planets that the semi-sextile is between, you know, are in their healthiest form, right? Everything is functioning optimally, and as long as you allow that in. So with encourages, compensates, and rewards here, kind of like what we were talking about, and we'll talk about this more after when we get everything laid out, but I did just want to touch on this. I feel like this really kind of talks about helping people who have already really been through something, to allow their reward to come in, right? To allow that kind of universal balance and compensation, and to encourage them to accept that and to know that they deserve that. So we'll talk about it more momentarily. Oh, you have louver. Oh shit, I almost knocked over my coffee. You have dress of alchemy. Yes, what were we just talking about? Release your power, card 33. We still, yeah, you guys can see that. Yeah. So that's a master number going on in here. I like it. Excuse me. I love this, you guys. I just got this deck. This is the Hip Hop Queens Oracle, and I'm like screaming. I'm so excited. Oh shit, y'all got Erica Badu with spirituality. I love it. Holy shit, I love it so much. And do I want to look at your tarot? I want to, but I'm hearing no, so I'll save it for a minute. Okay. Excuse me. So y'all are real spiritually advanced. You guys, everybody who picked this pile, I want you to know you have a very important spiritual mission. And I'm really drawn to her glasses. I feel like it's like you've got like tunnel vision for your spiritual mission. You might not even be aware that that's what you're doing. Once again, I feel like you bring a lot of love into the situations that you, into the situations where you're influencing and impacting people. You bring a lot of love in. I feel like you have the most impact and influence over people who have suffered quite a lot of rejection. And quite a lot of, yes, disempowerment, but that's not the word. Hang on, I'm trying to channel for you a little bit. People, it's not people who, okay, so I'm hearing disillusionment. It's not people who have been disillusioned. It's people who need disillusionment, right? Because there's eyes on her wings right here, right? So wings are always like your freedom. And to me, a certain extent, your transformation. There's eyes here, and this always makes me think of like you're seeing things very clearly, because there's another card in this deck where there's this, you know, it's a very like psychic clairvoyant energy where there's eyes on the wings. So what I'm getting at here, long-windedly and inexpertly so, is that I feel like you have the most impact on people who have really suffered a loss of love, really have suffered a lot of rejection. And I feel this is in early childhood, possibly from a mother figure. They really struggle with their divine feminine energy, particularly their inwardly directed divine feminine energy. And what I don't know why when I'm looking at the Erica Badu card, what I'm kind of seeing more than anything else is this energy of, who are you to not deserve love? Who are you to not have everything you want? And I feel like you are the one who brings that question to people, maybe not so directly, but you like mirror this back to them. You reflect this to them, right? Because they're like this little three-headed dragon in, you know, in this little bulb with the cap on. And I feel like you help them release that. You help them. We have like the energy of 3. We have 33. We have a 3 here. 3s are all about expansion and expression. So I feel like you help people. And we have 3 cards on the In Tarot We Trust card, or pin, which is really cool. Excuse me. And I feel like you do this generally pretty gently for most people, right? You just bring in a lot of love. And if you notice too on this card, on the little heart, half of it's in shadow and the other half isn't. I feel like you provide a lot of contrast to people. So maybe they're like, the people you most influence are used to kind of dealing with people who are not very loving, who are very selfish, who are not very giving. And I feel like they've had to, this is what it is, there it is, with the fan and the Empress here. The people that you make the most influence on, or make the biggest impact on, that you influence most, are people who have had to hide behind this facade of overgiving. They've had to be this kind of Empressy energy. They've had to be very abundant for other people. They've had to be maternal for other people. And that's not a bad thing, right? But I think the people that you have the greatest impact on struggle to do that for themselves. They struggle to come out of hiding. They struggle to really get in touch with what it is they value, want, and deserve. Because they're afraid of being rejected, not only by other people, but by spirit themselves. Like, you know, it's whatever this was for a lot of the people that you help the most. This is something that comes from very, very, very early childhood. This is something that's like a foundational part of it's part of their emotional foundations. And overcoming it for them, because I'm looking at all the lines over here, is a very like interwoven, complicated process, as it is for many of us. And I feel that you help people get in touch with their soul's desires, their heart and soul desires, and you help them kind of start asking those questions that help them release their power, right? Of like, you know, it's interesting too, sorry, I just thought about this. I'm like, why am I looking over here and looking at the 3s? Because in astrology, a semi-sextile is a 30-degree angle. So we have another kind of like 30, we have 33, we have a 3. So again, the number 3 is very important here. It could be a life path number, birthday, birth month, but just in general, expansion, self-expression, growth, etc. But I help you, I help you, but they help you, yes. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm doing weird Weird voices and terrible accents out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I'm just in a goofy mood. I feel like you help people really start asking themselves those larger questions and expand. And again, we have this almost like energy of enlightenment going on around her crown, right? And we have the same thing here. You help people see a higher perspective on their own lives and say, well, why don't I deserve to go live my dreams? Why don't I deserve to put it out there? You know, because again, I feel like whatever this has happened so early for these people that not only do they fear rejection from the people in their life, it's like they fear rejection from spirit. So I feel like they don't even utter these things out loud to themselves, right? And again, with the pearls and the, you know, the pearls of wisdom kind of ideology here, it's kind of almost like I said, like, you know, the people that you make the biggest impact on have already been through so much. They've already dealt with a little bit of sand in the shell, right? They've already created these pearls, and it's like you may as well wear them proudly. You may as well get the benefit of your difficult experiences, and you may as well, like, now is the time to wear your wisdom with pride and go after what you want. And I feel that you help motivate people to do this, and you do so very gently, very lovingly. You bring a lot of love in and help heal rejection wounds. And you help people start to see their path differently, their passions differently, especially where they've been holding themselves back for fear of not getting their wishes or for fear of having their deepest heart's desires rejected. I feel like you do help people start to kind of evolve past that. So let's see what you have for tarot, because this is pretty dope. Ooh, you have the Knight of Swords. Let me see. Can you guys see that? Since I'm super good at holding that for, yeah, okay, cool. Knight of Swords, okay. You have, yeah, the Six of Swords reversed. Yep, I see that. You have, oh, yeah, you have the Lovers. Oh my God, I almost threw the card in here. Shit. You have the Lovers. And, oh shit, okay, the Tower. All right, no fucking around today, I guess. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. So Knight of Swords, masculine air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Gemini energy with the Lovers, and with the Tower, this is kind of like Aquarian energy a little bit because it's sort of more that Uranus energy. So yeah, where people with the Six of Swords, where people are stuck on healing, to me, the Six of Swords is an inner child healing card, hands down, because in the traditional tarot, it's a woman and her child in the boat with 6 swords, and there's a guy in the back steering the boat. And it always makes me laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, cool, this lady's like, I must leave in the middle of the night. Let me take my child and my collection of swords. But whenever I see that, it's inner child healing. So I feel like the way you make the biggest impact and you influence people the most are people who are really stuck in their healing journey. So I'm really drawn to putting these two together. I feel like these are people who are very motivated with the Knight of Swords. He's the fastest knight in the deck. Are very quick to take charge, but look at, there's the heart with the sword in it. So in this deck, all the swords do have this, but just like because of where it is on her in this card, it's like these are people who are very motivated, people who want to take action, people who are quick to offer words of insight, wisdom. With the yellow roses, offer things to, you know, out of tokens of friendship. They're very quick to give, especially to go to, like, move towards someone, go help someone, take action very, very rapidly. But they're doing so with a broken heart. It's like they're trying to ignore the fact that they're hurting. And it's because they have this, you know, Six of Swords reversed. I'm like, this thing right here. It's because they have this Six of Swords reversed. And again, it's like that heart in shadow right here. Yeah, and I feel like they're trying to, it's not even just distract themselves. I do feel like it is distract themselves. I feel like this person knows deep down that they are dealing with this broken heart. They're dealing with this Six of Swords reversed. And I feel like the people you have the biggest impact on either try to straight up ignore it or they try to make peace with it by being like, okay, this is my path, you know, this is my experience, and I'm just gonna go, it's like the people you make the biggest impact on try to overcome this, try to heal this broken-hearted energy by, with the Lovers, bringing this to other people, right? Because both these people have their hearts like outside of their bodies, right? So like connecting with like-minded people, or connecting with people who have been through similar experiences and trying to offer them that love. And you might actually identify with this as well, right? And I think the difference is that if this is something you resonate with too, by being attracted to this group, you have kind of almost crossed a healing threshold. So, healing is, healing's it's a non-linear process, and it's a recurring one, right? It's rarely like, oh, I'm cool, I'm healed, I spent X amount of time healing and now I'm done forever. No, but like, I feel like you've reached an important threshold in your healing, that the people you have influenced have not yet been able to do. But I feel like the people you have the biggest impact and influence on try to give this love to other people who have also been through some type of rejection, because they so intimately understand it. They very much want to give, and they want to give knowing that their sacrifices are going to good use, but they have a very hard time receiving. So the people that you have the biggest impact on may be a little closed off, may be always struggling with some aspect of their lives, particularly materially or in love. They might always be giving but never allow themselves to receive, because they're afraid of opening up to wanting something and needing something, admitting that something is something that they desire, and then having it taken away, having that rejection feeling, is kind of what I'm getting. And I feel like you come in with the Tower and the Lovers, and you show them like, yes, you show them love, but you also show them how to love themselves and how to love their own power, how to love their expansion process, and you help kind of guide them through that. And again, sometimes I'm really drawn into her expression. It's like, I feel like you ask really important questions of people, where it's like, well, why can't you go do that? Why can't you go have that? So like, let's say this somebody's like, oh, people need me. I can't take time to go do this, or I can't go enroll in this program because of XYZ. Like, it's like they're always doing things for other people. And I feel like you come in and you very lovingly, gently question that. Or I'm almost kind of getting this image of like, let's say it's like, oh, I can't, if you're talking to somebody, like to a mom, and she's like, oh, I can't, enroll in this certification program because I have so much to do in my home with my kids. And it's like, I feel like you're the kind of person that's like, well, pick a day, a day or two every week that you are going to go to like do your coursework, and I'll watch your kids for the night, or like, I'll go do this. Like, why can't you do this? Right. And you really get people to start thinking about how to make their dreams happen, how to overcome. And I feel like it helps them to get down to the root of the problem, which is the fear of not getting, the fear of getting rejected, or the fear of not getting what it is they most deeply desire, and having to mourn that loss. And having to really deal with the nitty-gritty emotions. So I feel like this is something that you don't outright do with people, but your help, your support, your love inspires people to get to the root of this problem, and to really start to ask themselves those questions of, well, yeah, why don't I deserve to go work a job that I want to work, or take a class I want to take, start indulging in a hobby I want to indulge in? Why don't I deserve that? And you help them to start asking those questions that will empower them and help them release their power. Yeah. So that's a really, really cool influence to have over people. I'm kind of jelly. I mention this all the time. I never pick a pile until I'm done doing the reading, because I don't want to influence it. But like, I kind of hope I get this one. That's awesome. I know it's only the first pile, but I mean it. So this is just about everything I am seeing, group one. If you are looking for help with a specific situation in your own life, please feel free to check out my shop. The link is in the description box below. If you would like this reading for yourself, like a personal reading for this question, please DM me. I don't have it currently listed as like a standing option, but if I get enough requests or comments on the reading, I will happily add it. So I am wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And yeah, that's all she wrote, babes. So I will be seeing you soon, and stay safe, healthy, happy, and blessed. Bye, guys. group 2. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of adjusting. There's a little bit of an energy shift. I'm just going to grab a sip of my coffee. Yum. So y'all were attracted to this little bluebird. I don't know why, I feel like some of you sing. You have a very nice little voice. Some of you creatively inspire people. You musically inspire people. I'm getting a nice, like, light kind of energy, like, yeah, I feel like especially some of you are excellent, talented singers. Your voice really inspires people. People might really like the sound of your voice. You might work in communication and people just like to listen to you speak. But there's something here because they're showing me, well, they're showing and hearing me. They're making me listen to the scene from Sleeping Beauty where Aurora is just singing in the cabin in the woods by herself, and like Prince Philip is like, ooh, I want to be on you. That's kind of the vibe here. So let's see what you got. First of all, I want to pull this card, right? So we have a lot of oracle cards, and then we have some tarot. But I'd like to talk about this card first. Now, this is from the Blood and Honey Major Arcana deck, and for me, I like to use this deck to kind of talk about archetypal energies. Excuse me. So this is going to kind of represent the type of person you tend to have the greatest impact or influence on. Now, this could literally be their zodiac sign. So you could be like, oh, I noticed that, you know, my life is peppered with XYZ sign all the time. Or, excuse me, these could talk about their traits. Or these could kind of give additional information for just like the types of people that you tend to exert the greatest influence on, and we'll kind of get a better idea of why when we look at your other cards. So now I'm making a mess and I'm actually accidentally messing up the fabric. We have, we have strength. You see that? Yeah. Can you see it? Yeah, okay, you can. Cool. Excuse me. So, you might kind of find that you are really great at attracting Leos. You could be a Leo. I also feel like too, because strength is usually depicted as a woman and she's like taming a lion and she's all about it. But here we have a man wielding a sword. These are people who are kind of, I feel like, warrior type energy. But these are people who are very guarded. Look at him. He's like hiding behind the sword, and the sword always represents our sword of truth, as well as like our willpower, determination, and victory. So these are people who are determined to succeed, and I feel like they have some type of ultimate truth they hide behind. So they have something where like this is their rallying cry, right? You know, they have some type of belief system that they are like, they'll die on that hill and they'll take you with them. They're not afraid. But they're also very guarded. There's a part of themselves that they keep hidden. I'm noticing from this person's perspective, their left eye is covered and the left side of the body is the divine feminine. So I feel like intuitively they lean on their intuition a lot, but they don't want other people to know that. These are people who I feel like are a lot more sensitive than they want you to know. It's kind of like tough exterior, like, but total softy behind closed doors. But they do it because this feels like there's pain here. So I feel like you tend to attract people who are very resilient, who have been through a lot, but who have not escaped unscathed or unwounded. And I feel like they're trying to fight through their wounds. Yeah. And unlike, so like group 1 had kind of this energy of the people they influence most, you know, having been through some stuff and trying to utilize it to make the world a better place, which is a beautiful goal, but in doing so tend to kind of like minimize their own experience, and thus it's harder for them to heal. This one feels like you're like a little bit almost jaded. Like the people who you make the biggest impact on are kind of like they're carrying their battle scars and they're not shy about talking about it, but they rarely show you how they feel about it, right? So like, let's say, this is just an example. Let's say this would be like somebody who has had a really messy breakup and their ex cheated on them. It's like, you know, they're really guarded in relationships and they're like, oh, you can't trust anybody, things like that. So they're very open about like, you know, what their beliefs are, what their truth is, but they're hiding their emotions about it. They hide some element of their pain, and I feel like they hide something that their feminine side really like sees or wants. It's like some aspect of their feminine side is very hidden. So that's just that. But people who are generally very, very determined, people who will stop at nothing, people who they ain't gonna crack. So interesting. So let's see what else you have. You have rest. Okay. Am I holding up so you guys can see? Yeah. Okay. I think I see where this is going, but let's keep digging. You have, ooh, conjunction, empowerment. Can you see that? I'm really good at holding it out of the frame. So the words here are combines with, enhances, enhances, no, like Chris Hansen, there we go. Okay, just ignore me. Enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, and overwhelms. So I want to just make note and really draw in here to strengthens, allies with, and overwhelms. We'll come back to that, but let's see, you have, yeah, you have anger. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this one always bums me out. Oh, Death and the Maiden. So this is card 28 that reduces to a 10/1, and this is invasion, boundaries violated, and dominance. Yes, I can absolutely see this. Okay. And you have, oh, you got, so this is from the Hip Hop Queens Oracle. I just got it and I'm already obsessed. You got Mary J. Blige with healing. Okay. Okay, I see where this is going. So we're going to look at your tarot in a minute, but let's just talk first. There we go. Okay. So I do feel like you have a very healing presence. You help people get rest. You help people who have been through some really messed up shit. With the skeleton here, you know, there's this energy of death. People who've been through a major transformation, and it's not a pleasant one. But look how the skeleton's holding on to the girl, right? And she's naked, and she's also like very clearly crying. So nakedness always implies vulnerability. And this is all about, as the card suggests, invasion, boundaries violated, and dominance. These are people who you make the biggest impact or have the greatest influence on people who have really been through something that really hurt them in a major way and really cut them deep, like, you know, kicked them where it counted, essentially, and have made it, I'm really drawn into dominance, things that have really taken away their power in the past. And because the skeleton is holding on to this girl, this experience haunts them. This experience, like, you know, I'm really drawn to as well, the skeleton's missing its lower jaw, right? It's like it's not talking anymore, but it still rings in their ears. They can still hear it. And with the 10/1 energy, what you essentially are here to do is you help make an impact in terms of like helping people make their way through that transition of leaving this cycle behind in order to start again. But usually I feel like you find people when they're in that no man's land in between, because they're really struggling to let this go. And they're usually very stuck. And I feel that these are usually people who are in a place of anger at the time. And I feel for many people, the people you have the greatest influence on, they utilize this anger as a way to try to empower themselves, because again, with this boundaries violated, they were really, really hurt. They were really taken advantage of. It's interesting, we have one eye covered over here, but both eyes are open right here. And we have both eyes closed right here. So there's something where it's like, this situation was not only really painful for them, but it opened their eyes to something and they can't unsee it, essentially. And I feel like they have a very, very, very hard time moving past it. And the only way that they have found to get through it is to defend themselves almost too much, but they still hide a lot of their emotions about it. And I feel like because I was really drawn into strengthens, allies with, and overwhelms, I feel like the type of person you make the most impact and influence on is somebody who has a very, very hard time aligning with other people, allying with other people. It's very overwhelming for them because it triggers a lot of these issues and these fears. They're really afraid of getting too close to other people because they're afraid of having those boundaries violated again. I feel like this is somebody who might be very, very sensitive in general, but at the very least has a lot of unprocessed emotions around this situation, and anything that gets remotely close to mimicking this, they can't stomach it. They have a very, very hard time. And I feel like they utilize anger as a way, like I said, to kind of protect themselves. Like righteous anger, especially, as a way to kind of protect themselves. And I feel like with rest and healing, you help kind of, and also too with strengthens here, you help kind of provide a safe space. We have a lot of green here, and we have little bits of it here as well, and green necklace right here. You provide like a safe place for them to kind of let their guard down a little bit, like relax their shoulders, take a deep breath. They don't feel like they have to fight all the time when they're around you. They might find your voice very soothing, very healing. If you make music, I feel like your music helps people who have been through some really, really difficult experiences. It helps them process it, and it helps them heal. It helps them find calming. It helps them find peace a lot. Because I feel like the type of person you have the most impact on, or the way that you influence people most, is to help bring healing into their world after some very, very, very challenging experiences, very painful experiences that they're having. Because the girl's not holding on to the skeleton's holding on to her, right? It's like things that they're having a hard time letting go of, things that they want to be put to rest and they feel trapped by. It's interesting, we have two people here, but we only have one person here. So these are also might be people who have had situations with like caretakers or parents or past relationships where they were very abusive to them. And this person has a hard time getting close to other people because there's so much fear and so much pain around this situation that has remained unprocessed. And I feel that you bring in this healing, you bring in this like safe place for them to kind of rest and kind of recuperate and recharge when they're feeling overwhelmed. Sorry, just making sure we're in frame. So let's see what you have for your tarot. You got Judgment reversed, okay. You have the High Priestess reversed, damn, okay. You have, wow, Justice, shit, okay. 3 major arcana, and the 9 of Cups. Oh, okay. Okay, so first of all, I want to mention we have Pisces energy here. And we have Libra energy. Yeah, I feel like, okay. So it's interesting, we have 20, which reduces to a 2, and then we have 2 again with the High Priestess here, right? I feel like you... Oof, excuse me, I knew I had a burp stuck and I was like, oh no. I feel like you help people who are almost struggling to trust their own judgment, but not in the traditional sense. People who, it's like they can't trust their judgment when it comes to other people, so they just put up one big wall, one big barrier, one big boundary. They've always got their sword raised. They're always ready for battle because they feel like they made a bad judgment call in the past, right? They blame themselves for this experience because, again, the skeleton's holding on to her, so she's not moving away from it, trying to get away actively, but clearly she's uncomfortable. But this is what's holding on to them. So I feel like there's something where it's like, especially because she's naked, and again, vulnerability. There's something where they feel somewhat responsible for their experiences, or they feel like, maybe not shame about it, but I feel like they take some type of responsibility. I don't think this is conscious. I think they do it subconsciously. And I feel like they really, really struggle to trust their judgment when it comes to other people. So as a result, they kind of always have their sword raised, right? They kind of always have their guard up. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. I also feel like, with the High Priestess reverse, you come along and you show them a different spiritual truth. Because I feel like we have the Judgment card reversed here. And when we have somebody who's blindfolded on the Justice, and we have 2 roses in the background, and it's kind of like, I feel like the people that you have the greatest impact and influence over think that they've seen everything, think that they know, but it's like they've become blind to the good that's in the world. And I feel like with the High Priestess here, you're here to show them a different spiritual experience, right? You may also find that you make the biggest impact on people who are very suspicious, very, again, guarded more often than not. And I feel like you come in to help balance the scales. You help restore their trust in the universe. And so the color red always makes me think of the red thread of destiny a lot. And I feel like you kind of help them to come to peace with the fact that things, unfortunately, you know, bad things happen to good people, and that it's not like there's universal like balance in that, but I'm trying to find the right words. I apologize. I feel like, you know what I want to do? I want to pull one card to clarify this combination, because those two go together, but I'm struggling to find exactly why. So, this, yes, okay. Okay, Two of Wands reversed, so another 2. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like you help them to cross a threshold. Okay, I'm seeing the story now. Sweet. I was like, we're missing something. So with the Judgment card reversed, you make the biggest impact on people who are being encouraged to take a new path, to put this behind them, to let this cycle go. Again, the 10 and the 1, the end and the beginning again. And they are struggling to take Spirit up on that opportunity. They're struggling to make the most of it. And Spirit with the High Priestess reversed is showing them the way. And they are not, like, because we have Justice here, Spirit is kind of showing them that they can have a new experience, a new path, that there's a different experience waiting for them. And they're not trusting it. Even though the High Priestess is showing them the way, they're struggling to trust it. They're struggling to trust Spirit and to accept that good things are coming their way because something very bad happened to them in the past, right? The Two of Wands is kind of a portal, and I feel like they're struggling to go through that portal because they have so much distrust and so much pain that remains unhealed, right? And on the other side of that portal is karmic justice and balance and fairness and truth. And with this 9 of Cups, it's a wish come true. It's something, you know, that will make them very happy, but they're struggling to move through that doorway because of this unresolved stuff. And so you come in and you make the greatest influence on people who are stuck right here. And you do so by providing a place of rest, rejuvenation, and a safe ally, a safe haven, essentially, for them to do their healing work. Wow. That's really beautiful. I mean, and again, for some of you, you are a musician and you do this through your music, even if you've never met people, especially with a little trumpet. I feel like even if you've never met the people that you help, you empower them through your music to heal a lot of these emotional experiences. And actually, it's really interesting too, because music therapy is like a commonly used practice for trauma therapy, because it's super fascinating that music is processed by, like, music allows us to process trauma in a really, really unique way, because it's, I'm forgetting the part of the brain that it interacts with, but it's memory and like emotional memory retrieval. And so if some of you are musicians, I feel like your music helps people process the very difficult emotions they've been through. But just in general, this is the greatest influence you have, no matter how you bring that to other people, as you help them process very deeply emotionally painful experiences so they can get unstuck. So that's beautiful. I love that. I think that is just about everything I'm seeing for group 2. If you are looking for help with a personal situation of yours, please feel free to check out the link to my shop in the description box below. If you're interested in this reading for yourself, I don't currently have it as a stand-in option in the shop, but I'm happy to do a custom reading, and if I get enough requests or comments on this video, I'll add it for sure. Other than that, I'm wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. Have a safe, happy, and healthy day, okay, love bugs? I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okie dokie. Okay. Hi, group 3. Okay, just settling into your energy a little bit. Okay, so if you were attracted to this cute little pink flower, we love her. Ah. I really like that. Hang on, I'm trying to tune into this. I feel like you're very beautiful. I get like Empressy vibes. You might be somebody who likes to work with flowers a lot. You might paint, or some of you might be florists. I feel like you're also very good at getting things to grow. What I'm like, they're showing me is somebody who, like, wherever you walk, whatever you touch, just like spring blossoms. So you might be a very abundant person, or you might just be able to kind of bring the best out of people. And I feel like you just see the sweetness in life. You see, you taste honey where others taste water. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's very nice though. You might be somebody who's very good with expressing themselves visually, maybe not quite as much verbally, because I'm struggling really hard to find the right words. But everything you create, everything people can see you do is a work of art, and I think that's really beautiful. So yeah. So I have your tarot cards. We're going to look at these after. I got a bunch of oracle cards to kind of look at what's going on here. But first I want to look at this. This is going to be, this is from the Blood and Honey Major Arcana deck. And I like to use this for archetypes. So the reason why I pulled this card is to kind of look at the type of person you tend to have the greatest impact on or influence the most. Now, these might be talking about like particular zodiac signs. You're like, oh, I noticed, you know, my life is sprinkled with this zodiac sign. This could explain why. This also could talk about just like the traits, the type of person that you tend to attract, or something within the person that you, like the type of person you make the greatest impact on, something within them that you are spiritually responding to, if that makes sense. So let's see what you have. Oh shit, you got the Devil. Damn. Okay. Wow. Just look at her. So this could be Capricorn. Your life could be populated by many Capricorns. You know what I'm almost getting here is, hang on, I want to look at this closer. So the first thing I was getting here is that because we were talking about being very abundant, and Capricorn rules the Devil, and Capricorn is a very abundant energy because they're very, very hard workers. They're very much focused on building a legacy. Is the first thing I was getting is you might make the biggest impact on people who are trying to build. And I feel if that's the case, you do so by imparting an abundance mindset, right? Like there is potential. An abundance mindset essentially is that there is back up, Sanessa. There is potential in everything, you know, to turn it into something prosperous and beautiful and an expression of self in the universe, right? Yeah, that's totally it. Okay. All right. Hang on. I got this now. Okay. Bear with me. A lot of people, so see the Devil's got the heart, right? A lot of the people that you make the biggest influence on, so these might not be the majority of people in your life, but that you make the biggest impact on are people who are trying really hard to pursue something that their heart is not in. They're trying really hard to build something they have no emotional allegiance to. So these might be people who are kind of blindly like, they're like paper chasers, but they hate their job. There's like, because again, I feel like you create out of this place of love with all the pink here. You create because you see the potential in anything and everything to be an expression, like I said, the highest expression of self and the universe. And I feel that you make the biggest impact on people who are trying really hard to build something that they're not, that has no heart and soul to them, that's dead to them. It's a ghost to them. And they're tied to it. They're chained to it because of something else. So this is like, I should be, you know, following this career path. I should be wanting this in my life. I should be doing this. Like they're shitting all over themselves, right? The shoulda, coulda, woulda disease. That's right. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, right there. And like this Devil especially looks so triumphant. I think it's super fascinating that the Devil here is what's chained, because in the traditional card, the Devil's presiding over a couple that's chained up. But this is like, this Devil person looks so like victorious about this, looks so proud of themselves, doesn't even realize that they're stuck, that they're trapped, right? That they're captured. So again, this is people who are really focused on something that is not true to them. Boom. Sweet. Thank you for bearing with me while I channeled my way through that. So these tend to be the types of people that you are most you make the greatest impact and influence on. And let's get more information about it. Here we go. Oh, yeah, okay, we have anger. Can you see? Yeah, okay. Anger, okay. We have sextile, opportunity. And again, there's that artistic kind of energy here. Collaborates, assists, explains, provides opportunity, synergizes, creates possibilities for, opens doors, promises, brings insight to, communicates, welcomes, and develops. So the words I'm most drawn into are creates possibilities for, brings insight to, oh, wow, okay. Whoa, back up, Sanasa. Brings insight to and welcomes. So we'll talk more about it in a little bit. I just wanted to kind of touch on that briefly. Oh, you have enemy. Wow, there's a lot of like shadow energy here. Interesting. You got your work cut out for you. You're helping some tough customers. Oh shit, look at that. Voodoo and blue, back off. So this is card 22. So we got a master number. Group 1 actually had a master number as well. And group 1 also kind of had a little bit of an influence of helping people get in alignment, but this is a very different energy. Group 1 also had semi-sextile. So if you couldn't decide between group 1 and 3, you might want to check it out. They have some similarities, but this feels like they're manifesting very differently. So if you're like, oh, a little bit of this sounds like my life experience, but some of it not so much. And keep in mind, you might not know that you make this impact, but yeah, bear with me. So you have, you got Megan Thee Stallion, Pride. So this is from the Hip Hop Queens Oracle. I just got it, and I'm fucking obsessed. And I've been waiting to do the tarot for everybody else, but I'm being called for you to lay them out now. So let's see what you have. Oh shit, okay, you have the Hierophant. Perfect, it's next to Megan Thee Stallion because this is Taurus, and I believe she's a Taurus if I remember correctly. Oh, you have the Two of Cups. You have the Three of Wands, interesting. And the Three of Pentacles. All right, I see where this is going. Okay. So for some people, I feel like the people, okay, this is where you make the biggest impact. You have the greatest influence. I feel like these are people who are, look, we have the Devil, we have anger, we have enemy, we have back off, and we have pride going on here. It's okay, Megan. It's going to be okay. So especially with the horse here, these are people who really like their freedom. These are people who I feel like they're very traditional in some ways, or they're very bound by convention or belief, whether this is the belief I should be doing this or my family wants me to do this. And with the red here, I really think that they think they're following their destined path. But the fact of the matter is that it's not. Like, look at, we have red here, but look at all the colors they still have available to them. We have, like, the only color here is red. We have red, right? Like, it's like they're so focused on this thing, whatever this thing is for them. And I think I already mentioned, yeah, we have Taurus energy. These are people who are, the people you make the biggest impact on are people who, I'm going to be honest, don't play well with others. We have the Three of Pentacles right here. We have the Two of Cups, and these can indicate, you know, soul-based partnerships. And again, it's because they're really disconnected from their heart. And I do want to pull tarot about that. I'm really curious, spiritually nosy, if you will. What is going on with these folks? Why has this happened? Why are you like this? Okay, so Eight of Swords. All right. I want to pull another one, though, because I'm like, yes, I see. But why? What's going on here? I have a feeling this is like family shit, but let's take a look. Ooh, the Emperor. Okay. And I'm going to pull one more because I want to sort of be, I want to be fastidious. Is this it? Wait, is this it? I'm getting a hesitant yes, no. I'm going to look at it, see what we got here. Okay. That's kind of it. So we have Ace of Swords. I'm going to comment and factor that in, but that's not it. All right, last one. What is the root of this skitchiation? Because I'm curious. Yes. Okay, the Five of Wands. There it is. Boom. Okay. So to answer what's going on with the people you have the greatest influence on, we have Eight of Swords, the Emperor, and the Five of Wands. I feel like this is somebody who, we have Aries energy represented here. This is somebody who grew up maybe in a very like authoritarian household. This is, you know, I say jump, you say how high. There's a lot of pressure in the family, particularly for those among this group of people that you have the greatest influence on who identify as masculine or the masculine energy. There's a lot of pressure to be in control. There's a lot of pressure to follow the plan. There's a lot of pressure to be a certain type of person, right? And especially with the Five of Wands here, I feel like there's a lot of competition incited, or competition became a huge part of this person's experience. So this person is much more comfortable tapping into this Five of Wands energy, this anger, this competitive nature, this defensiveness, protecting what they've made. And the reason why, like we said with the Devil and the heart has been ripped out and the Eight of Swords, is that this isn't true to this person's heart, but they don't understand that, right? I do feel like also too, this person, either when you meet them, the type of person that you have the greatest influence on, either when you meet them or at certain points before you meet them, they hit these plateaus in their life journey. I'm just putting these down so I have to hold them the whole time. They hit these plateaus in their life journey where their strategy only gets them so far. And part of the reason why is because they're not only not tapped into their heart's deepest desires, and we see this with the Two of Cups, but I feel like they also are doing everything alone, and they feel bound to this experience alone. And we see that with the Three of Pentacles. I'm not going to lie, if you chose this group, I feel like you have had your work cut out for you. I feel like maybe why I was struggling to find my words is that your strength doesn't lie in the words that you give to others, but your strength lies in the example you set. And I feel like what happens is you see the opportunity in everything, right? You see the sacredness, you see the mystical, the magical, the mystery tour. But you see the beauty and the universal cosmic light and energy and intelligence in everything you do, and that's why you're very naturally abundant. And I feel like that also brings you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, because what I see with this Two of Cups, right, is that I feel like Two of Cups, Three of Wands, I feel like this is what you are, and this is what you show the people that you have the greatest influence on, this is what you show them just through like example. And they're looking, right? Because this is like their freedom, right? They're doing things their own way. You've caught their attention because they've hit a plateau where the way that they're used to doing things is not getting them where they want to go. It's not making them happy. It's not getting them the recognition they're looking for. It's not getting them the status. It's not getting them the security they want. And at the end of the day, they feel defeated, lonely, and angry. And it's like they've tried it their way and they're stuck. They're really fucking stuck. They're really stuck in fuck. But I feel like you frustrate them almost. It's like they don't want to be paying attention to you, but they can't help but look your way. They're like, how do they do what they do? How are they can just do this? They can just be so creative, right? I feel like you're the type of person where you might be like an idea person. You might just be like naturally gravitating to different art forms where you just like pick something up and you're like, boom, okay, I'm going to do this. Like you might have really like well aspected Jupiter placement, just doors open for you. Things with a sextile card, things just happen for you. And it's because you really see the potential, right? That's in your energy frequency, and that's not in this person's. And part of the reason why is you are far more aligned to your soul frequency, to what you deeply desire, than this person. This person hasn't awakened to the fact yet, or this type of person hasn't awakened to the fact yet that if their heart and soul isn't in it, they're not going to get very far. Because this almost looks like the Ace of Pentacles right here, right? And I feel like they have a hard time really progressing past the Ace, right? And this person doesn't understand that, because I think the type of person you have the greatest influence on, the greatest impact on, is not very awakened. And so this is somebody who's trying to build something for themselves that's not really in alignment. Their heart's not really in it. They're, you know, or they're trying to do it in a way that's not in alignment with them, heart and soul. So maybe they're trying to do it by like stepping on other people. There's a huge theme here of working alone to, you know, to the fault of others. And with the Five of Wands here and the Enemy card, they see everybody as their competition, not as their ally. So they can only get so far on their own, and then they hit a wall, and that's very purposeful. And that's why I think they get your attention, because I kind of get this energy that this person has been really conditioned to, like I said, be very competitive, be potentially a little bit cutthroat, but to really rely on themselves. They haven't really been able to rely on other people. And as a result, I think that they wouldn't, if they didn't hit these kind of like impasse walls or these plateaus, they wouldn't really listen to anybody but themselves. But they have to, because like they're not succeeding the way that they're trying to do it. So for a lot of you, especially if you're creative, well, we're all creative, but if you do something creatively, especially very publicly, you might get like a lot of haters. You might have a lot of people who kind of are gossiping about you, or a lot of people who like get jealous of your success. And I feel like you're very calm about it. You're very sweet about it. You don't hold on to the energy. You're not possessive of your ideas, because again, you see the potential in everything. You see the abundance that the universe has given you through opportunity, through people, through your ideas, through, you know, your creative interests and hobbies. You just see like abundance everywhere. And that's the difference between you and the people you have an impact on. And the reason why is that you're supposed to be a very stark contrast to these people. These people are almost like your opposites. Like they are more in their shadow and you are in the light. And you're supposed to provide a contrast, because I don't think if you told these people this information, they wouldn't get it, right? Because what we see here with this lineup is like the need to not only follow your spiritual path, but to be in like very confident in who you are at the soul and your place in this universe, to do something that's in alignment with you, heart and soul, something that you can pour yourself into, and it's very, you know, it's very satiating for you. This is also, you know, somebody who is fine waiting, you know, they're comfortable, they know their ships are coming in, so they're not, you know, they like, this is somebody who's in touch with universal cycles and timing. And with the Three of Pentacles, this is also somebody who is happy to collaborate with other people, just as happy as they are to work on their own, right? Again, it's like, this is always a spiritual partnership. It's you, the other energy, and spirit. And I feel like you have this partnership all the time, whether it's you and a project, you and a hobby, you and another person, you and a job. You understand how that works. You know, it's like your energy, the other energy involved, and then spirit kind of helps be the you know, the go-between party here. So you really understand how abundance mindset and frequency and energy works and how to manage it. And this person does not. This type of person does not. So I feel like I said, if you told this person, this type of person, about this, they wouldn't listen, because they think they're the smartest person in the room sometimes. Because they've been conditioned to need to be the smartest person in the room, need to be the strongest, need to be the smartest, need to be the best. Big time energy around that. And it's created anger for them, because look at this like rift down the center. It's like they're trying to hold it together. Everything, it's like they've given up so much, and then they're not even getting anywhere for it, or they're not getting very far for it. And this realization, I feel, frustrates and angers them, and they probably take that out on you at different times. Which I'm sorry for, because that's not your fault. But what's happening is that you are providing the very, very, like I said, stark contrast to how this person is used to doing things. And I do feel like, sorry, they're showing me a dog coming back with a tail between their legs. I do feel like this person does take notice and eventually like will capitulate a bit, whether publicly, like to, not publicly, but like to you, like overtly, or very covertly, in terms of like changing their ways, changing their strategy, changing their style, stuff like that. Because they hit a point where they realize, okay, my way of doing things is not working for me at all. I'll see if I get anything else for you. Yeah, so just by virtue of you living your life and doing things and like being in touch and, you know, in collaboration with spirit, you really influence people and show them there's another way to do things. Very powerful energy going on here. And it's a quiet power. And I think that's why it gets this person's attention, or this type of person's attention, because it's not, you know, with the Emperor and the Five of Wands, it's not competitive. It's not loud. It's not, you know, it's not I'm the best. It's just very, you know, because this also comes from a lackful mindset, right? Of like, there's not enough, so I have to grab this. I have to hold on to my ideas. I have to do everything myself, right? Because it's like lackful, not trusting spirit, not trusting other people. But yours is very open, very like flowy, very creative, very abundant. And this person, this type of person, has never experienced that before, and they have a lot of anger deep down, maybe not so deep down. They have a lot of anger about the fact that they've had to kind of compete all the time, and they've been kind of told how to do things, and they've had to jump through a lot of hoops for some sense of success, stability, approval, love, and it hasn't even got them to where they wanted. And I feel like they've gotten, by the time they meet you, they've gotten a lot of signs that their way is not gonna fucking work. And they have had a hard time listening, but watching you succeed has gotten their attention enough that it makes them question the way they're doing things. So for some of you as well, this person might start off as like somebody who's hating on you, or somebody who's like always, you know, kind of like you're at odds with you, or like trying to bicker with you. This person on this card is hiding here, waiting for somebody to come down the street. So it's like they're hiding. They're trying to catch you. They're trying to figure out how you do what you do, and they're trying to take your success from you. And it's like, because look, there's nobody else on this street, right? It's kind of this energy of like they're waiting on the wrong street. They're taking the wrong approach. They're sitting there waiting, and it's not even going to yield anything. And I feel like for some of you, this person might be like up in your shit in a negative way initially, and then when they finally kind of start to get the message, they start to kind of have that epiphany. They want to work with you. They want to collaborate with you. That's when the doors will open. So you may find that a lot too, where people are like very polarized. They either love you or they can't stand you. And you might find that this even switches, where it's like people can't stand you, and then they get to know you and they really want to work with you. And those are the people that you help them open up. Or, you know, if this is like, you know, this is like friendships. These are people who you're doing your own thing, and people are like judgmental, and then they get to know you and they're like, wow, okay, I really misjudged you. I'm really sorry. And it's because you're really opening up this opportunity, abundant mindset for them. Yeah. So this is really cool. I'm sorry if these people have given you a hard time. If you want me to get them for you, I will. Kick them right in the knees. But this has been really cool. If you are looking for a reading for any personal situation, my shop link is in the description box below. If you're interested in this reading for yourself, please let me know. I don't currently have it added to the shop, but I do custom orders, and if I get enough requests or comments on this video, I'm happy to add it as like a permanent fixture to the shop. But other than that, I'm wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you soon. All right, bye guys.